What is good, universe? Whenever you're seeing this, whenever you're watching, just know that one of the greatest spectacles in sports entertainment is on the horizon. WrestleMania 40, Philadelphia, and Rafael Esparza, the man who put out the very first odds ever. At least that's the story we're telling, Rafael. Hello, sir. Are you ready for WrestleMania?
I am ready for my multiple TVs just blowing up on Saturday because we have a huge card on Saturday, WrestleMania Final Four. I can't wait. WrestleMania now, a 2-day event. Should be fun. Should be exciting. How can you can't pass up WrestleMania XL, not 40 XL. So in Philadelphia, should be fun.
During all my years there, and I was there a long time, whenever that would come up, the years they would use like the number, we were so happy because like I don't even know what XL is, and a lot of people do not. So I would rather say it just for the simple fact, Raphael, that I don't know what XL is. I know it's 40 now because you just alluded to that. All right, so here's what we're going to do on this little segment. We're going to look at 3 different plays that Raphael likes because amazingly, yes, you can bet on WrestleMania. Kind of started when I was there, Raphael, and you were a big part of it. So let's talk about the first value play that you like on the board for Saturday or Sunday.
Well, I want to explain why you can bet on wrestling first for other people who's like, oh, it's scripted. How can you bet on wrestling? Casinos who put odds on this, mostly are global, they do it for customer service issues. They know it's a huge event. One of the billions or millions of people are watching this. You can't bet 10,000 on a match. Most of them about $25. Maybe they boost it up to maybe $50 on Saturday and Sunday and stuff like that. It's customer service. It's something to like, hey, we're giving back to the betting communities, pretty much something like that. So you can't bet the house, double mortgage it, or I got an inside scoop on it, I'm going to make millions. No, it's not like that. It's more for customer service. And I say, host part of my French, shit and giggles.
When we used to talk, when wrestling first started being able to be bet on, and I was in the room and I'm staring at the scripts that you talk about, and I remember thinking to myself, why would they ever do this? And your explanation is spot on. It gets people in a room, and wrestling, much like the Super Bowl or all these other big events, people love to get around and talk about it, right? They love to talk about this fight or what you think about that. And that's what I love the most after I was at 16 of the 39 WrestleManias, Raphael.
Wow.
I've been there. 16 of them. And so this is what it's all about. So as we head into the first fight that we're talking about, there's been a guy that's taken this business by storm, and he never would have existed 20 years ago because you had to be there every single week. But now things have changed, Raphael, a little bit. You don't have to be there every single week.
Nope.
Logan Paul is taking on Kevin Owens. Do you have a particular look that you're looking at for this match?
I know the universe hates Logan Paul. I know people in the back are not 100% thrilled on Logan Paul, but I got to give him his props. His ring action is pretty impressive. So I got to give him his props where props are due. And I know he's a minus $5 favorite, Logan Paul, to retain his belt. People are like, oh, man, really? Minus $5? Randy Orton plus 350, Kevin Owens 4-1. I'm going to take the value of the dollar on this one. Kevin Owens at 4-1, getting huge pops week after week. I think the universe are finally respecting him and being there week after week after week. I'm going to say 4-1 I just can't pass up on that one, even though I can see Logan Paul winning, maybe dropping it at SummerSlam, but I can't pass up 4-1. Randy Orton doesn't need a ring or doesn't need a belt. He's just Randy Orton. He's RKO. That's his belt, RKO. He doesn't need one, but 4-1, I just can't pass up. Everything can happen on Saturday or Sunday. This match will be.
I think your analysis is spot on. Let me just give people a little education on when they're putting matches like this together. To Raphael's point, Randy Orton has been there for over 20 years. At this point, a belt to him or a championship to him means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. For a guy like Logan Paul, you're absolutely right. The old school way of thinking, Raphael, is, oh, he's not here every week. Oh, they let him do whatever he wants. Well, guess what? Roman Reigns hasn't fought that much in the last 2 years. And this is the way it should be a little bit. You can't be out there. I remember I got so burnt out. I missed one Monday, Raphael, in 10 years. One Monday. One. So I was there for, 519 out of 520?
That's crazy.
My first run. It's crazy. But if you didn't do that, they made you feel guilty. Now, I would not be guilty to cash on Bayley, but only in MMA and only maybe in pro wrestling odds can you look at a nearly minus 1,000 and say, I like that number. Explain that, please.
Yeah, minus $9. There's some books that have minus 2,000. This one should be minus 5,000. I agree on this one. I think they're gonna give Bayley her belt to give her dues for what she did during the pandemic. She was fantastic with the TV screens behind her. She carried the women division. Some people said she carried the show. Her and Drew McIntyre carried the show pretty much during the pandemic. This is her saying thank you for your hard work, for blowing up your knee and then coming back and bringing two new females into the limelight. No one knew who the two other Damage Control members were, and now they're both here at Wrestle. But this is their says thank you, Bayley. Minus $9 should be minus 5,000. I know it's not worth that much value on it, but it should be much, much, much higher.
We call it giving the rub. She's one of those that understands how you give the rub to somebody else, attach them to you, and then take them with you into the stratosphere that you reside in, which is at the top. That's exactly what The Rock has done. And we're going to get to that match in a second. But when you talk about the women, and there's another women's match that I think this week they did a terrible job of leading up to it. Because one of the, and I loved the CM Punk interview with Ariel Helwani. Loved it. Becky had already been on the show, Rafael, a few days before that. So what is she even doing in the building? And then to have a young stage manager and another stage manager try to look like they're trying to get in between her. It was so bad. So bad. I hope the match can make up for what I believe has been horrible booking when it comes to hyping this match. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree. One of the stage managers probably weighed maybe $150 for wet t-shirt. I'm trying to hold back these two ladies. I agree. It was horrible, horrible setup. And I highly recommend watching that interview in the MMA Hour with CM Punk. It was very, very good. Highly recommend watching it. But I agree that a horrible setup. I don't know if maybe they're doing a bad setup because I think they're trying to prolong that Becky doesn't have a contract in 2 months. Maybe they're that's why Rhea Ripley's a huge favorite in this one. Opened up at minus $3, and that was about a month ago we opened it up. Now it's minus $5. Some books has minus $7. That just tells me that maybe they're gonna put the storyline of Becky Lynch not having a contract. Mercedes mentioned her contract in one of the shows she did this week. So I think they're going to play around with that one. That's why I originally thought they were going to get Becky the belt. But now I think they're just going to make that contract storyline a little bit farther.
I would be shocked because she did talk about it in her sit down with Ariel Helwani too. And he said, will this be your last WrestleMania? And she said, I doubt it. I doubt it. So I believe her in that.
I do too.
But what you cannot do, though, Rafael, and I was there for a couple of situations like this, you cannot let somebody walk out the door as a champion.
Oh, yeah.
And if they allowed her to win, and then for some reason the contract falls apart, now she's the champion, and now you got to drop it on a May 8th version of SmackDown. And you're like, really? Really? So we'll see. But her book coming out, she's been everywhere. I just think it's been bad. Oh, and by the way, Rafael, on Raw, Rhea Ripley apparently can go through 8 security guards.
Not 1, but 8.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now, what has not been ridiculous is the third topic. And one night is not big enough for this entire group of men. And you have Roman Reigns and The Rock, who were recently on Jimmy Fallon together. And there was some stuff from that interview that is very telling, too. I think they're trying to drop some hints here, Rafael. And on the other side, you got Seth freaking Rollins and Cody Rhodes. And there are repercussions for depending on who wins. When you look at this entire scenario, 2 nights, what is your take?
I mean, Saturday night, you know what the last match is going to be on Saturday night. It's not a 6-man ladder match. It's the Cody Rhodes tag team, Seth Rollins and The Rock and Roman. So, I mean, it has to be the Bloodline winning that tag team. It's because how they're going to make the storyline of the last match on Sunday going to occur. And again, here's another one. Minus $6, really? The reason why we made it minus $6 because I can guarantee you there's a lot of Cody crybabies going to put $25 on a plus 350. I can guarantee you the underdog would have probably 5-1 tickets than the favorite. So we had to kind of try to balance the books, even though it's a wrestling. No matter what prop bet I put up, I always try to balance the books. If it's a wrestling prop bet or a baseball prop bet, I'm always trying to balance the books, no matter how it looks. But -$6 should be probably close to -1,000 because storylines can change in a blink of an eye. You can't make it too heavy because I think if Cody and Seth won, I think a storyline could still make a good WrestleMania on Sunday. Not a best WrestleMania on Sunday, but $6 too much value there. I would lay the ones being popped up on Saturday night. So yeah, I'll take the Roman and the Rock -$6.
It's fascinating when you're talking about $6 or really heavy favorites, and really kind of MMA and wrestling is kind of the only place you can kind of get away with these types of numbers. But a lot of guys, Triple H, I saw an interview with him, The Rock in a couple of interviews. This was not how this was supposed to go. It was supposed to be, I think, in their minds, Rock comes back, everybody loves him, and then they help Cody just ride into WrestleMania and win. I don't think they thought, Rafael, that The Rock would come back and be heel number one, and then do all these social media videos, become a bigger heel, beat the tar out of Cody, and now you got the big bad wolf with Roman Reigns. So with all that being said, I think some of these numbers, people need to be very careful because it could change between now and Sunday. I've seen it happen before.
AKA Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. I would say the myth of wrestling betting, because the amount of action that was coming in on the Undertaker that night, it's almost like people were in the room with Vince McMahon and the Undertaker. When I heard it, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard from multiple people saying that Undertaker wanted to lose and Vince McMahon didn't want him to lose, and they were going back and forth. I have not confirmed that. I've just heard from other people and stuff like that. That was probably the birth of WrestleMania betting that day. Not just the first ones I put out before then, because I put some other ones out before that day, but that day I can still see that one guy, the meme of that one guy going when Undertaker lost. That was the birth. That's why we're doing AEW, New Japan odds, and stuff like that. Is the birth of Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar. Thank you, Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon and Undertaker.
Yeah, at least we can thank them for something. Now the Undertaker was the reason. I don't know if you ever heard my Undertaker story. So obviously he's the Godfather, right? And these are the type of stories you can hear on Behind the Turnbuckle, by the way. And
I love it.
Oh, thank you. So after 9/11, the Super Bowl was moved back a week, and so we happened to be in Vegas for Monday Night Raw the day after the Super Bowl. So we were in a hotel. It was the Embassy Suites right across the street from the Hard Rock there in Vegas. And they gave us the lobby, the whole deal, right? And the boys had a house show in Reno. Flew in. I'd been drinking and mixing for some reason, Rafael. I kid you not. Corona and Bloody Marys. Think about that combo for a second. Fast forward to the Undertaker walking in, and kind of his thing was he'd welcome with Jack Daniels. And so 10 Jack Daniels shots later, I was now part of the crew. I was part of the everybody. And I'm like, oh my gosh. The next 24 to 48 hours, I kid you not, I could not function. I could not move. I barely made it to the show. I had to hide out all day. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. But that made me a man. Hair on my chest, as they like to say. Could you have done that?
No.
10 in about 20?
I used to talk to the WCW guys when I was at MGM for Halloween Havoc, because they would come. They were fascinated with me and the director at the time. They would just sit there and the counter asking us every question in a book about gambling. I mean, that's how I pretty much knew a lot of celebrities, just because of the stuff that I used to do behind the counter and all that. But yeah, there's no way I would see them just drink, and then I'll be leaving my shift at midnight, and I'm still seeing them on the casino floor and drink. There's no way I could do it. No way.
And imagine doing that 3 or 4 days a week, 52 weeks a year. And people say, Coach, why'd you leave after 10 years the first time? Let me repeat myself. 4 to 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year.
Your Monday stat I live for stats, and you're missing one Monday stat that you just blew out. I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna probably do more math on that today, just for some odd reason.
It's all true. It's all true.
That's
because
crazy.
we were so scared of missing anything because whether you were in a store, I mean, I saw guys get fired for leaving their house, going back when there was a blizzard that was being forecasted and getting snowed in and missing Raw. And we're told you knew it was coming. You went back on your own volition. You're fired. I've seen that happen. That's how scared we were of missing time. So you would think that the Monday after I got married would be the Monday I missed. Correct, Raphael? You got married on, you'd think so. You would be wrong. Instead, because I was only allowed to miss one Monday, I went to Monday after Raw. So then I could be gone on my honeymoon for 10 days and miss the next Monday after that. True story.
Smart math. You looked at the calendar very well.
Yeah. But I'm divorced now, so maybe I shouldn't have even. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, everybody. You can see Rafael every single day with me at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We are the best sports and sports betting brand that there is, and we cover everything, including pro wrestling. Your final take, Rafael, on what you expect Sunday night when it's all said and done. We will see.
The Cody Crybabies finally not crying anymore.
The Cody Crybabies finally not crybabying it anymore. And by the way, if you're not a Cody Crybaby, you can get that t-shirt at our merch store. The link is in our bios. Boom. That's how you segue. All right. That's all the damage that we can do. I love WrestleMania XL live from Philadelphia. Cover us on social media or follow us on social media. We'll have reactions all throughout the night. For my numbers guy, Rafael Esparza. Producer man always in the back making the show look like $1 million. I am simply the coach. I am simply the coach trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you, even at WrestleMania. Good luck.